I am Bookface, and today we're here to talk about a very specific type of monsters, hybrids. Hybrids are a very unique, which is to say bizarre, form of monsters in mythology. I personally believe that these hybrid monsters were just created when people couldn't think of enough monsters, so they're just like, hey, you have these animals? Boom, now they're a monster. Just smush the animals together. And while sometimes it makes sense, like mixing together two very dangerous predators, sometimes it's just nonsense, and those are the best. So, let's jump right in. The first creature we have is the Chimera, which is a creature from Greek mythology said to have attacked the area of Lycia. It resembled a large lion that had a snake for a tail, not a snake's tail, but a snake as a tail, so it had a head coming out of its butt, and a goat head sticking out the middle of its back. Additionally, as if these features weren't weird enough, the Chimera could also breathe fire. Some accounts also say the Chimera had wings. Now, this monster probably has a very interesting origin story, doesn't it? Nope. The Chimera was born, like many other monsters, from the primordial monsters Typhon and Echidna, who also gave birth to the monsters like the Hydra and Cerberus. Interestingly enough, though, the Chimera is thought to be the mother to monsters such as the Nemean lion and the Sphinx. The Chimera was an incredibly powerful monster, and it took a long time before someone killed it, but of course eventually someone did. The one who killed the Chimera was the demigod Bellerophon, who threw spears at the Chimera that were covered in lead, which would melt into the Chimera's mouth whenever it would breathe fire and choke it to death. Also, to avoid the creature's fast reflexes, I guess, Bellerophon was riding the winged horse Pegasus. And this is why Greek mythology frustrates me. I just wanted to tell you about the Chimera, and I had to tell you about all these things. The next creature we have is called the Crocotta, which is a creature from Ethiopia and India. It was generally believed to either be a cross between a hyena and a lion, or a cross between a dog and a wolf, which I'm pretty sure exists. Another possible name for the Crocotta is the Lucrata, though some people say that's a completely different creature, because it has a very different physical description, but every other detail is the same. The Lucrata had the body and tail of a lion, hooves and back legs like a deer, and a head like a badger. The one interesting detail about the Crocotta was that every year the Crocotta would change genders. One year the Crocotta would be a male, and the next year a Crocotta would be a female, and it would just go back and forth every year. The main ability of the Crocotta, though, was its ability to imitate voices. It was thought that a Crocotta could learn a human's name by stalking it for a while. Then it would call the human's name to get them to come outside their house and kill them. It would also use this voice imitation to make the sound of a sick, dying man to attract dogs and kill them. However, sometimes the Crocotta doesn't feel like being smart or tricky, and it just digs up corpses. Classy. There were also more bizarre features to the Crocotta's physical appearance. For one thing, the Crocotta's lower jawbone, yeah, we're going to say this is a jawbone, went straight into the teeth. They weren't separate. And there were no gums. It was also thought by some that the Crocotta's eyes were multicolored gems, and that if you took one out, put it under your tongue, ew, then you could see the future. I feel like that's drugs. That creature doesn't sound too dangerous, right? Just shoot it. Well, unfortunately, it was believed the Crocotta could not be killed by steel weapons. But who knows, they didn't have guns back then. People believe that the inspiration for the Crocotta was the spotted hyena, because the spotted hyena has been reported to dig up graves, and, of course, everybody knows hyenas have a very distinctive laugh, and it's possible that could be where the idea of human voice imitation came from, because they laugh like a person. Lastly, we have a creature called the Grootslang, which is a creature from South Africa, specifically the desert of Richtersveld. This creature was thought to be a cross between a snake and an elephant. It was thought that the Grootslang was one of the creatures created early on in creation by the gods. But the gods decided that's too overpowered. So they decided that to fix this issue, they would split the Grootslang into elephants and snakes. But they messed up. One of the Grootslangs escaped and bred to make more Grootslangs. Thankfully, though, it wasn't believed that the Grootslang would attack humans. Instead, it attacked elephants. That sounds a little messed up. Oh well, I guess cannibalism is normal in the wild. But this creature wouldn't just chase down a bunch of elephants and kill them. No. It had to be craftier than that. You see, the gods didn't just kill it because it was super big and strong. It was. But it was also very intelligent and cunning. Instead, it would lure elephants into its cave, which was called the Bottomless Pit, or the Wonder Hole. which doesn't sound right. This cave was very large and connected all the way to the ocean several miles away. It was also filled with diamonds. The Grootslang was not solely restricted to living in the Wonder Hole, but it could also live in warm rivers, lakes, and streams. It has to be warm. Grootslang has no chill. Additionally, even though the myth comes from South Africa, there is a specific form of Grootslang from Benin, which is described as an elephant with a snake's tail. But unlike the South African Grootslang, the Benin Grootslang really liked gemstones. So it was thought that if you had gemstones, you could give them to the Grootslang so it won't kill you. Wait, that's just a mugging.
Give me all your gems.
Yes, this is a pretty bizarre creature. But weirdly enough, people have actually reported seeing creatures they call the Grootslang. These creatures are typically described as giant snakes or very large monitor lizards. No elephant features to be found. And because of this, the Grootslang has been classified as a cryptid. And so there are 3 different hybrids from mythology. And it just goes to show, if you can't pick a favorite animal, just make them all into one horrific monstrosity. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel. I just did a video on chupacabras, please go watch that, and any of my other videos, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!